So when you keep sharing your struggles with them, you are giving them more pearls to trample, more ways to hurt you, more weapons to use against you. And you cannot heal while somebody's using your vulnerability as a weapon. Are you struggling with setting boundaries because it makes you feel less than a Christian? Not forgiven? Not loving enough? Do you second guess yourself when you take measures to protect yourself? Or do you find yourself over-explaining why you've taken certain measures with certain people? In this episode, I'm showing you 2 Bible verses that give you permission to guard your heart and protect what's valuable in you. So grab your journal and pen, let's get into it. Before we dive in today, I want you to know something. You don't have to heal alone. I have a free community called Narcissism Unmasked, and it's for women just like you who are rebuilding their confidence and self-worth after narcissistic abuse. We have real conversations, honest support, and every week I host live healing conversations for the heart where you can connect with other women who truly get it. If you're tired of feeling alone in this and you want a judgment-free place to heal, come join us at bit.ly/Narcissism Unmasked. Do you want to heal from narcissistic abuse, but you struggle with self-doubt and second-guessing everything? If so, you're in the right place. I'm Takia, mom, coach, and your survivor friend. Here we mix faith, real talk, and practical tools to restore confidence and self-worth. So if you're ready to rebuild your confidence and finally feel at peace, take a deep breath. Exhale now. Let's heal for real. Welcome back again to the Boundaries series. In the last 2 episodes, I talked about the 3 boundaries that every Christian woman needs when healing from narcissistic abuse. If you started to implement them, maybe the guilt is just there knocking at your door. Maybe you're questioning, wait, what if I'm being a little bit too harsh? What if I'm wrong? What if I'm overthinking this? Today, I want to give you some biblical grounding, some backative. I don't know if we only say that in my dialect. I don't know, but something to back you up, right? Because once it's in the Bible, we know that we can stand on it. Because it's the Bible. It's the truth. And I'm not talking about using the Bible in a twisty, shady way to manipulate. No, we're going to just take it for what it really is. So let's get into it. Now, I used to be really addicted to reality TV shows. The more ratchet, the more ridiculous, I loved it. There was probably never a reality show franchise, very few, I could probably count them on one hand, that I didn't watch. And this continued even after I gave my life to God. That was just something that I enjoy doing to kind of unwind and escape reality a little bit. And in a sense, I was able to kind of live vicariously through some of the characters in the show, because I wasn't going to be on those streets throwing hands or anything like that, so I'll watch you do it. But there came a point in time where I had to be honest with myself and admit that what I was watching was affecting me, and not in a positive way either. I think the only reason why certain behaviors I didn't act out was due to lack of opportunity. Yeah, so this thing was really affecting me. And God is so good. Like, God doesn't just come in and condemn us like, hey, you shouldn't be watching reality TV shows. You should know better. No, it was so gentle. I remember one day I was just reading my Bible, and this particular verse stood out to me. Proverbs 4:23. Guard your heart above all else, for everything you do flows from it. I got this immediate conviction, like, man, I really need to be careful about what I'm watching. And, I kind of took a step back to analyze, okay, what are the themes of these shows? What is glorified? And it's like, some of these things, yeah, they're just not good. And honestly not things that I want in my life. So I really need to be careful about what I'm watching. That was it for me as it relates to reality shows. But then I started digging deeper. I started looking at words in the Strong's Concordance, because I came to find out that, sometimes what we read in the Bible, the words, what we think the words mean, it has an even deeper meaning, due to the Hebrew and Greek and all of that. So I started looking at words in the Strong's Concordance. And I learned that the word heart in the Hebrew doesn't mean your literal heart, right? It relates to your mind, your inner life, your entire being. And my view was opening up, because if guarding my heart meant protecting my mind, my emotions, my well-being, then maybe Proverbs 4:23 wasn't just about TV. I could actually apply this to every area in my life, including people that I let close to me. So the first verse I'm going to jump into today is just that, Proverbs 4:23. Guard your heart above all else, for everything you do flows from it. This is a command, right? Above all else, guard your heart. And as I said a couple of sentences before, your heart isn't your literal heart, and it's not just your emotions. The heart is your mind, your inner life, the very essence of who you are. And I want you to think a bit about your physical heart. If it starts beating, you're dead. So you do what you can to take care of it. You exercise, you watch what you eat, everything to protect it. And the same thing applies to your spiritual heart, your mind, your emotions, your inner life. Whatever you let in affects everything that flows out. How you think shapes how you feel. How you feel shapes how you act. How you act shapes your habits. And your habits shape your character, which ultimately decides your destiny. There's nothing in this life that is neutral. Everything you let in, what you watch, what you listen to, who you give access to you, affects your life either positively or negatively. So if somebody keeps hurting you, if they're draining you, manipulating you, breaking you down, they're damaging your heart. There's not neutral ground. Guarding your heart means that you need to protect yourself as much as possible from that damage. No, narcissists don't just hurt you once and move on. They create ongoing damage. They get inside your head, twist your thinking, plant seeds of doubt, making you doubt yourself, question your reality. And you're left feeling like, I'm crazy, maybe I'm the problem. And that damage affects your entire life, physically and internally. And when you keep letting them have this unlimited access to you, you're giving permission for the damage to continue. Your mind stays confused. Your emotions stay dysregulated. Your inner life remains chaotic. You can't heal while somebody is still damaging your heart. That's why guarding it is not optional when you're healing from narcissistic abuse. It is essential. But there's where some low guilt may start to creep in. You may have people, including the narcissist, telling you, oh, you're being selfish, you're unloving, you're not a good Christian, as if being a Christian means lying down and being a doormat for people. Well, it actually isn't, and God doesn't look favorably upon, people using others as doormats, right? So the narcissist will say things like, oh, if you really love me, you will give me another chance. If you really cared about this family, you wouldn't act like this. Real Christians don't treat people this way. Real Christians don't behave this way. You're not a real Christian. But hey, the Bible is saying something different. God is commanding us to guard our hearts above all else. So when you go no contact or minimal contact, you're obeying that command. You're limiting their access to your mind, your emotions, your inner life. You're protecting yourself from that ongoing damage and turmoil that they cause. When you stop taking their calls, you're guarding your heart. Because we all know every call is just another opportunity for them to get inside your head, twist your thinking, leave you dysregulated, just cause confusion. When you refuse to engage in their drama, you're protecting what God told you to protect. Because engaging means letting them back in to do damage all over again. But your narcissist will always try to make you feel guilty for protecting yourself. But you're not disobeying God, you're obeying Him. So that's what Proverbs 4:23 is about, guarding who gets access to your heart. Now let me show you the second verse that works along with it. That verse is Matthew 7 verse 6. Do not give what is holy to the dogs, nor cast your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces. This kind of used to sound harsh to me, like dogs, swine. I know that Jesus wasn't actually talking about literal dogs and swine, they were metaphors, but it kind of still sounded a little bit harsh, right? But here Jesus was making a point. And the truth is this: some people are not safe for your vulnerability. Your pearls, that's you, your vulnerability, your story, are valuable. And some people will just trample them. They will use what you share against you. They'll twist it, weaponize it, and then rip you to shreds. And here's what that can look like with a narcissist. You share something vulnerable. They listen. Seem empathetic, compassionate. But meanwhile, they're stored up and bring up later to either manipulate you or punish you. Or worse yet, use it to bolster their smear campaigns, twisting stuff to paint a certain picture of you when they're dragging people in their whole scheme. You tell them what you are hurting, and they throw it in your face the next time you argue. You open up about your struggles, whether that's current struggles or struggles in the past, whatever the case may be. And they use it to make you feel weak, broken, and like you're always a problem. That's trampling your pearls. That's tearing you apart. Narcissists don't ignore your vulnerability. They weaponize it. They collect information about you, what hurts you, what scares you, what you're ashamed of. And they use that information against you to control you. And every time that you're vulnerable with them, you're giving them ammunition, and they will use it against you. In healthy relationships, vulnerability is protected. It's stewarded well. When you share something vulnerable with somebody that is safe, they handle it with care. They don't use it against you. They don't weaponize it. And that's what a real relationship looks like. There's space to be truly vulnerable without fear. But with a narcissist, there is no safety. Your vulnerability is like a gun in their hand, and that gun is going to be used to shoot and kill you. So when you keep sharing your struggles with them, you are giving them more pearls to trample, more ways to hurt you, more weapons to use against you. And you cannot heal while somebody is using your vulnerability as a weapon. That's why Jesus essentially says, don't give them what is valuable, what is precious. When you gray rock, instead of opening up yourself and explaining all of this and that, you're following Jesus' instructions. You're protecting your pearls from being trampled. When you keep your struggles, your healing journey, your walk with God to yourself and those who are safe, you are protecting what is valuable from someone who has proven that they will use your stuff time and time again to hurt you. The narcissist will say, oh, you're being closed off. You're being secretive, withholding. You're not talking to me. You never talk to me anymore. You don't trust me. If you really wanted this to work, you would be more open. You would come and talk to me. But Jesus already said, do not give what is valuable to people who trample it. Not everybody gets your story. Not everybody gets access to what is precious in you. I mean, you protect your pearls, what is precious. You're not being unchristian. You're being obedient. Proverbs 4:23 tells you to guard your heart. God who gets access to your mind, your emotions, your life. Matthew 7:6 tells you to protect what you share with people who've proven that they will weaponize it. Both of these are commands from God. And they both give you permission to protect yourself without guilt. So this week, I want you to memorize these two verses. Proverbs 4:23, guard your heart above all else, for everything you do flows from it. And Matthew 7:6, do not give what is holy to the dogs, nor cast your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces. Write them down, say them out loud, commit them to memory. These are not my words, these are God's words. And they give you permission to protect what He has given you to take care of. I'll see you in the next episode. If today's episode hit home for you, I would love to see you inside Narcissism Unmasked. It's my free community where women healing from narcissistic abuse come together to talk honestly, rebuild their confidence, and support each other through the hard stuff. Remember those weekly life healing conversations I mentioned? That's where real connection and breakthrough happens. You're not just listening to a podcast, you're a part of something real. Join us at bit.ly/narcissism unmasked. And if you want to stay connected between episodes, become an insider. You'll get weekly emails with new podcast drops, healing tips, and first access to anything special I'm working on. Sign up today at bit.ly/confidence insiders. Hey friends! I hope today's episode taught you something or gave you a boost. If it did, would you take a couple seconds and share it with someone who's ready to heal from narcissistic abuse? And while you're at it, would you please leave me a quick review on Apple Podcasts? It really thrills me to know that other women are being helped. Now go ahead, stretch or grab that snack. I'll see you in our next episode.